This video, I'm going to discuss with you about 20 core Java interview questions with answers. Yeah, let me go to first question. Yeah, the first question is, can a constructor be made a final in Java? So the answer is no, false. Why we cannot make a constructor final? Because constructors are not a members of a class. So like data hiding or inheritance is not applicable for constructors. So there is no, it doesn't make sense to make a constructor final. If, for example, we have a method. So method can be overridden in subclasses, and the method behavior can be altered in subclasses. So to prevent altering the behavior, we will make method as a final so that subclasses cannot override that behavior. But coming to the constructor, constructor overriding is not applicable. So it doesn't make any sense to keep constructor as a final. Yeah, let me go to next question. Yeah, what is a static block? So the first option, it is used to create a synchronized code. No, it's wrong. Synchronized code cannot be created using static block. In fact, synchronized is a keyword used to create a synchronized code. So A is the wrong one. And coming to B, there is no such blocks. It's wrong. Static is a block. Static blocks are available in Java. So let's go to third option C. It is used to initialize the static data members. It is executed before main method at the time of class loading. Yeah, it's true. Static block is executed before main method. Like when class is getting loaded, JVM get execute the static block and initializes with the static members. So static members are initialized in static block when class is getting loaded by JVM. So answer is C. Next question is, what type of binding is a method overloading? So method, to discuss about this, we need to understand what is method overloading and what is method overriding. So overloading is, let's say we have one method adding two numbers. So addition is a method, let's say, and it's accepting a comma b. And suppose you want to add three numbers, you can write as one more method, add a comma b comma c. So here one method is taking two parameters adding sum, and the second method is taking three parameters and adding sum. So here the add method is overloaded. So that is called overloading. So overloading is a static binding or the dynamic binding. So overloading is a static binding because compiler knows, like at compile time itself, which method is going to execute. It get understand how it get to know is, let's say method calling is having two parameters. So the first method will get executed, like in case of previous example, sum of a comma b and sum of a comma b comma c. So if you are passing two parameters, so a comma b, the first method get executes, and if you pass three parameters, the second method executes. So depending on the parameters and type of parameters, compiler itself, compile time itself, we are able to know which method is going to execute. So binding is happening at compile time itself. So that's the reason overloading is called a static binding or compile time binding, you can say. The next question is, what are the valid statements for static keyword in Java? So A option, we can have a static block in a class. Yeah, it's true. We can have a static blocks in a class. And coming to B, static block in a class is executed every time an object of a class is created. It's wrong. We already discussed, like a static blocks are getting executed only once when class is loading into memory by JVM. So whenever you are like you can keep on creating objects, but at the time the static block won't get executed The static block get executed only once when it is getting loaded into memory by JVM. So answer B is correct and is correct. And C, let's see. We can have a static method implementation in interface. Yeah, with the Java 8 new features in interface also we can write a static method. So that is true for Java 8. Before Java 8, it's false. So keep in mind Java 8, this is true. And coming to D, we can have a static block inside a method. No, we cannot have a static block inside a method. We can have a static blocks at class level only. So D is wrong. Yeah. Next question. Select OOPS concepts of Java. So abstraction, inheritance, interface, and polymorphism. These are concepts of object-oriented programming. But coming to generics, E option is wrong because generics are part of Java features, but those are not OOPS concepts. So E is wrong, and A, B, C, D are correct ones. And next question is, which of the following statements are true for inheritance in Java? So how we do inheritance? Inheritance we do, let's say we have two classes, class A and B, and class B want all the features from class A. At that time we inherit the class A. How we do is class B extends A. So option A is correct. We use the extends keyword, use it to extend a class in Java. And coming to B, you can extend multiple classes in Java. Is that true? No. Java doesn't allow multiple inheritance. Let's say ABC and C class want to extend A comma B, that is not possible. And one possible thing is you can do multi-level inheritance. Class A extends B and B extends C, C extends D. Similar, we can extend multi-level inheritance is possible, but multiple is not possible. So B is wrong one. And coming to C, private members of a superclass are accessible to a subclass. Yeah. Is this true? Private members? No. Private members are not accessible outside of the class. Suppose a class A has a method which is private. So the A method, the scope is within the class A itself, within the class only. Outside of the class, the method visibility is none. So we cannot access from outside, from the subclasses. So C is wrong. And coming to this D, we cannot extend final class in Java. Yeah, that's true. Final, if a class is declared as final means that is what we say, that is freezed, or that is a constant class that cannot be extended and that cannot be inherited with the subclasses. So D is also correct. Which of the below are unchecked exceptions? So to understand unchecked exceptions, what is checked exception? So in Java we have two types. One is checked and other one is unchecked. So what is exactly checked? Checked exceptions which compiler while compile, it checks the data and it complains like this piece of code can be thrown some exception. It can be a reason. So you need to handle this piece of code with some exception handling mechanism. That is a checked exception. Unchecked is a compiler doesn't bother about what type of exception that piece of code can throw. So that exception might be arised at runtime and JVM notifies the like this is a issue, but compiler doesn't bother. So those are called unchecked exceptions. So Java divided these exceptions based on the extended class. If any class like exception class is extended exception class, then those are checked exceptions, and the classes which are extending runtime exception class are called unchecked exceptions or runtime exception classes. So A, B, and C, these are the unchecked exceptions. Those comes when runtime only. Those compiler won't complain on these exceptions whether those are being handled or not. Coming to D, IO exception. This is a checked exception. This we need to handle at compile time itself. Otherwise, compiler uh, complaints on this. Which kind of variables a class can consist of? So if you see the class structure, class can have two types of variables like static variable and non-static that we can call instance variables. So A is the correct one, like class variables. Class variables are nothing but static variables and other variables are instance variables. In B, we have seen local variables, but local variables are not part of class. Those are part of particular piece of code, particular block, like a method or constructor or anything. So B is the wrong one. And coming to C, class variables. So that is already covered in A. So this is saying only class variables, and D is saying class variables and local variables. So this is also wrong. Local variables are not part of class. Can we have two main methods in Java? So this is basically saying, can we have more than one main method in Java? A criteria is the signature should be different. If have same signature with another main method, that is a duplicate. So we can have as many as overloaded methods. So there is no restriction to have more than one. Yeah, main method also of course a normal Java method in. So we can have as many as. Only thing is we need to keep unique methods. If you have a duplicate signature, then that is a compiler issue. Unless otherwise, yeah, there is no problem with having multiple main methods with a different signature. Yeah. So answer is we can have two main methods is yes. Is which of the following statements are true about annotations in Java? So in view of annotations, option A, interface at the rate interface keyword or at the rate interface annotation is used to create custom annotations. Yeah, to create annotations, we need to use at the rate interface annotation. And the B, at the rate override is a built-in annotation in Java. Yeah, it's true. At that override is already available in Java, and we can use whenever we are overriding any method uh, to notify this is overridden method. We can use at that override. So this is a built-in method. Option C, annotations cannot be applied to fields in class. This is wrong. Annotations can be applied to fields. For example, if you are using Spring, in Spring, at variable level, we use some annotations to auto-wire. So auto-wire is applying at field level. So that is also a normal Java class. So we can say this is wrong. Annotations can be applied to fields as well. And what is at the rate retention? At the rate retention is one of the meta annotation in Java. Yeah, it's true. This at the rate retention is used to mention the retention policy for annotations. So this is a meta annotation. This is correct. This is correct. Coming to E, Java annotation information get lost when class is compiled. It is wrong. We can mention like how or how, until what level we need to keep the annotation information. That information based on the retention policy. So retention policy can be code or compile or runtime. Suppose if you are giving like a code, then retention will be until compile time. And if you can keep at the rate runtime, retention policy is runtime, then that can be annotations can be kept until JVM executes. So depending on the retention policy, annotations will be kept in the code. What is the hash code method in object? So hash code method is available in object, and hash code method returns the hashing part for an object, and this is used to identify uniqueness and keep unique things in hash map or hash sets. So the return type is int. Is it necessary that each try block must be followed by a finally block? No, there is no necessary that we always want to write final block. We can simply write try and catch, and we can ignore finally block if don't have any requirement. But one thing you need to remember, if you have written like a try and, there always be finally block get executed by JVM. That is particular to JVM. When you are writing a code, so that is your optional to keep finally or not. You can, but you have to write, if you are writing try block, then you have to write catch block, but finally is not a mandatory. What is true about final class? So a class declared with final key is a final class. Yeah. Suppose you want to make a class as final, then you have to use a final keyword at the class level to make a class as final. So A is correct. And coming to B, final classes are created so the methods implemented by that class cannot be overridden. True. To make constant or to make fixed behavior, and nobody want to override those methods. So you have to keep class as final so that the class cannot be inherited and the behavior is preserved, and no means nobody can't touch that one. Coming to C, it cannot be inherited, right? If class is a final, that class cannot be inherited. So basically D is the answer, all of the. What is a null pointer exception? NPE, null pointer exception. Basically null pointer exceptions occur when there is a null reference and you are trying to use that reference to execute some logic, some functional. A null pointer exception thrown when calling the instance method of a null object or modifying accessing fields of a null object. Yeah, it's true. You are trying to modify calling a or accessing a fields of a null object, then you will get null pointer exception. It's true. Coming to B option, NPE is thrown when object is set as null. Yeah, object can be set to null, but it doesn't mean that that exception will be erased. No, exception will be erased when you are calling something on null reference or null object. So if you are not calling a null, calling any method on null reference, then there won't be any exception. So B is wrong. Coming to C, NPE thrown when object property is set as null. No, you can set any property as a null. JVM won't give any null pointer for that one. Only null pointer comes is you are accessing null reference and you are trying to call some method or some property. So C is also wrong. What are wrapper classes? Yeah, wrapper classes when we use when we are talking or dealing with some primitive and object types. So there are some primitive types like int, float, double, char. These primitives, if you want to convert into object type, we need to use a wrapper classes so that these primitives can be used inside an collections, because collections doesn't allow primitives. So at that time we'll convert primitive to object type, and that object type data we use inside a list or set or map. These are the classes that allow primitive type to be accessed as object. Yeah, it's true. To convert as object from primitive, we use wrapper classes. Partial wrong, because here primitives are not object. So answer is A only. Does a garbage collection guarantee that the program will not run out of memory? No, garbage collector doesn't guarantee. There might be a chance that program goes out of memory. Let's say there is a memory leak. You are keep on adding some object to some collection or something, and there is no enough memory. So there is a chance of out of memory error occur at runtime. So garbage collector cannot guarantee always. Garbage collector's duty is to clean up if there is any dangling object, if there is any unreferenced objects. So at that time, garbage collector comes and collecting all unreferenced and clean up that to make some memory. False. Can try statement be nested? Yeah, we can write a nested or inner. Like inside a try, we can write multiple try catches, and even inside a catch, we can write multiple try catch blocks. So we can write a nested statements. Which of the given method are object classes? So object classes, if you see here, notify is object class and wait is also object class, but synchronize is not an object class. In fact, it is a keyword used for synchronize blocks. So A is wrong. Coming to B, wait is true. Wait and interrupt. Interrupt is not a object class method, and notify is object class. So B is wrong. Coming to C, notify all waits. Yeah, this is true. These are three object class methods. Coming to D, sleep, wait, and notify. Out of three, sleep is not a object class, and in fact, sleep is a thread class method, and wait and notify are object class. So D is also wrong. Answer is C. Next question is which keyword is used to access the features of a package? So to access features of a package, we need to import the package. So the answer is import. We use package, but the keyword package used to create a package, not to access a package. So answer would be import only, and extends we use to extend any other classes, not accessing packages. Yeah. The final question is which option is false about the final keyword? Option A, final method cannot be overridden in subclasses. Yeah, final methods are constant, so those cannot be overridden in subclasses. And coming to B, final class cannot be extended. Yeah, it's also true. Final classes are constant classes. We can say those behavior is frozen. Those cannot be extended. Final class cannot extend other classes. This is wrong. Let's say class A is declared final, but still I can extend some other classes to inherit behavior inside. So this is wrong. Final method can be inherited. Yeah, final method can be inherited. Only thing is final method cannot be overridden. It can be inherited into subclass, and that method behavior can be used. Means that final method can be called from subclasses, but that method behavior cannot be altered. That's the only thing about final. So the third option is wrong, and remaining all are true. Yeah, that's all about 20 important interview questions in related to core Java. Yeah, thanks for watching, and please do subscribe my channel. If you have any comments or any suggestions or anything if you want to know about, please give comments below the video so that we will revert back. Thank you.